Howdy do everyone, happy 2022 of course. This is the first video, like proper video I've made this year. I've been so focused on streams that I haven't had a chance to actually say that. So I have my Christmas hat on and I hope so far these past few months have been lovely for everyone there. Today, however, as you may have known, was the Nintendo Direct. We haven't had one since September. And so, as we usually do, I have my notes here and I'm going to tell you all the announcements that I'm actually personally excited for. They started with Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes. I'm guessing it's a DLC or something, kind of how Age of Calamity had story DLC. Not really interested in that, but hopefully it's a good one. Then, of course, they showed more Advanced Wars Reboot Remake, right? Apparently it's going to be online multiplayer, it's going to be local co-op, and it's also going to be fully voice acted, which is awesome. It also has custom maps, so you can make your own levels, and I'm guessing play versus mode against your friends. The more I hear about this remake, the more excited I get. And I can't wait to make a review or video of this game once it finally comes out. But first, I have to actually finish ActRaiser Renaissance before I do that, of course. Then, No Man's Sky apparently is coming to the Switch. I don't know how the turd that's going to work, and so I'm not sure if the Switch can handle that, unless maybe this game is one of those where you have to be constantly connected through an online server or something, right? And now a new Mario Strikers game has returned. It's called Mario Strikers Battle League. It has 8-player local, online clubs, and it's available on June 10th. That is really cool. I remember my brothers, we actually have the one on the GameCube, right? But I know that they enjoyed it a lot. Whereas for myself, I couldn't really get into the controls growing up, right? And so, this new Mario Strikers, I'm actually really excited to give it a try with my brothers once it actually comes out. We got more information on the multiplayer for Splatoon 3. Personally, I'm more excited in the single player, open world kind of looking aspect of the game. Front Mission is coming back, as both the first and second games are getting fully remade for the Nintendo Switch. I've heard of this series before, a million years ago, but I actually don't really know much about it as I haven't played it before. But to all the fans that are excited for this, I hope you enjoy the game and it's everything you're looking for. And then this one's kind of weird. Disney and Pixar Speedstorm Racing, right? I love seeing all these characters, but it's just kind of weird to see Tarzan and Sully, right? Mulan racing around. I don't know, it seems kind of weird. Star Wars Unleashed is coming to the Switch. I'm guessing this is also a remaster. I remember hearing good things about this game back in the Xbox 360 days. Wasn't this the one that was on the Kinect too? Assassin's Creed Ezio Collection is coming to the Switch. We already knew about this, I think last month or something. However, there has also been a recent leak that apparently the Batman Arkham collection is also being made for the Switch. And some people can say remasters are just same games ported over, or remakes, right? Why not just make new games? Why not both, right? Bring over old classic games that people have loved from their toddler days, and maybe some people never had a chance to play right now because maybe the physical versions are expensive, which is why I'm so excited that Chrono Cross is getting a remaster. And if it's anything like the Final Fantasy IX remaster on the Switch with the quality of life improvements and everything, then I'm definitely going to enjoy playing Chrono Cross as well. But can you imagine if Chrono Trigger also got a Octopath Traveler style remaster? That would be crazy. I wouldn't be surprised if Nintendo finally brings it to the Switch Online, right? I mean, you never know with these directs, right? Maybe in the future. Then we got more information on Kirby, of course. The new Mouthful mode, apparently he can eat an entire car and get special abilities. It kind of reminds me of Cappy from Mario Odyssey, right? The more I hear about this game, the more I want to play, right? I don't want to see any more trailers. I just want to play it. The Kingdom Hearts collection is finally coming to the Switch. However, it's still cloud-based, right? And that kind of sucks. I really don't want to play it the cloud online version. I hear that's really bootleg when it comes to the Switch, right? There's a lot of issues. But what's funny is the name is called Kingdom Hearts Integrum Masterpiece. What kind of name is that? Instead, I will be enjoying Klonoa 1 and 2 remasters. It's one of those series from the PlayStation 1 days that is really rare, right? But I had Tomba, Gex, Crash Bandicoot, right? Spyro. And this was always one of those series I remember either seeing in a magazine or hearing a friend talk about, and I always wanted to play it. I don't know, I thought this series was gone, right? This is so cool, and I'm really excited, to finally give Klonoa another try in full HD. we also have Portal 1 and 2 coming over to the Switch. So hopefully Portal also has like the gyro like motion controls and whatever that just feels natural. The sequel is going to be online co-op and local split screen co-op. So that's really fun, and that's good to hear too, right? But how awesome would it have been if maybe they said something like, oh, Portal 3 is being announced too. I know it's never gonna happen, but you know, a fan can dream, of course. Switch Sports. So a new updated Wii Sports is coming over to the Switch. That's really cool to see, right? It would have been really nice if maybe this was included with the Switch instead of like 1-2 Switch. Because I know even that game you had to buy separately, right? We had a derpy, cheesy volleyball like live presentation during the Direct. That was fun to see, but hopefully now when you play the tennis mode, right, in this game, you don't have to just waggle your controller around and, you know, just win like that. Because that was kind of bootleg back in the Wii days. We have a new Taiko Natatsu drumming game, and as fun as these drum games are, we want Rhythm Heaven on the Switch. I really want Rhythm Heaven on the Switch, right? Like 3DS one was basically a combination of all the Rhythm Heaven games before it into one giant, you know, game. If they port that over or remaster it, that would be awesome. I would love to see that because that game was top notch. And then, ladies and turds, we have an update for Metroid Dread. And I was like, wait, what? Is this the first time Metroid has ever gotten an update after a game has released? Like, I don't even remember the 3DS one getting an update. So if you wanted this difficult game to be even harder, the free update, Dread Mode, does exactly that. If you get hit once by any enemy, basically it's a game over. And I'm like, oh my lord, that's hardcore. I'm just really happy though that Metroid did well enough that it actually got something, right? Like a free update to bring people back to the game and just enjoy it even further. That is awesome. And then another Square Enix RPG game, apparently it was only exclusive to Japan from back in the Super Nintendo days, is getting a remake. This is called Live I'll Live. I've never heard of it though before this Direct. I'm like, Square Enix, you are on a roll over here with all these remasters, all these remakes, all these RPGs coming to the Switch, right? If they can bring over the Legend of Mana collection that hasn't been localized in Japan, right, for like 20 or whatever years, and now they can bring another game that was only in Japan, Nintendo, take the hint, right? And then, ladies and turds, of course, eToy teased, you know, on Twitter the other day that make sure fans watch the Direct. Something is gonna get announced. Earthbound fans, Mother fans, they were all watching closely. We have Earthbound on the Super Nintendo Online. We have Earthbound Beginnings on the NES Online, and finally, Mother 3 localized after all these years as a collection on the Switch. That last part wasn't true. I wish it was. I really wish I could sit here right now and tell you that after all these years, right, that Nintendo finally brought over Mother 3, but they haven't. Not yet, at least. I'm very hopeful that on the Switch, especially with how well the Switch is doing, especially now that both Earthbound and Earthbound Beginnings are available today, and the fact that all these remasters and remakes was also a Japanese exclusive game on the Super Nintendo, brought over to the Switch. I am 100% certain Nintendo is like watching these games, right? And keeping note. I'm happy that Earthbound fans at least have something. One day we'll get Mother 3, just keep fighting, you know, keep trying. I'm going to say it, Mother 3, we will get it. I think we will finally get it on the Switch. And now, something really cool. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is getting 48 Mario Kart levels by 2023, all fully remastered from every single Mario Kart game in the series. It seems Nintendo has learned. After Super Smash Bros. Came out, why don't we just update, you know, like games that we already have on the Switch and just give them more DLC? I love to see this. I hope other games get kind of like similar DLC stuff like this. I'm surprised it took them that long. And finally, the last announcement we have, the one that's supposed to like blow your mind and, you know, make people go crazy at the end like Nintendo usually does. September 2022, Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is coming out, and to be honest, I'm like I just can't believe it. Basically, back in like I think 2010 or 11, when the game was released, I think it was released in Europe, I think in Japan as well, but it never was meant to come out in US. And people protested, right? They're like, hey, this RPG is awesome, bring it to the US, right? And they brought over Xenoblade Chronicles 1, The Last Story, and also Pandora's Tower, and they became cult classic hits. Fast forward a million years later, I have Xenoblade Chronicles on the 3DS, right? It's insane what they did on the 3DS, right? Like, they ported a Wii game, Xenoblade X, on the new 3DS. It just, I kind of never went back because I remember sitting there and I'm like, I really want to play this on the big screen, right? Like, I really want to play this on a TV and enjoy, like, all this beautiful world. The first game got a remaster on the Switch, as well as like a added story DLC at the end. Then we got Xenoblade Chronicles 2 plus story DLC after that, and now we have Xenoblade Chronicles 3. That's insane, right? I should really get to playing Xenoblade Chronicles and finishing through that. I know the RPGs are awesome, but they're like hundreds of hours long, right? And of course, Xenoblade X on the Wii U, there's only a handful of games left on the Wii U that need to come over to the Switch before the Wii U is basically like, I hate to say it, but like useless. There's almost no exclusives left on the Wii U. On one hand, that's awesome, right? More people can play it if it's on the Switch. But on the other hand, it makes me so sad. It makes me so sad. I bought all those games and knew I put so much money into the Wii U. A little tear. And so there you go, ladies and turds, that's the Nintendo Direct here for February 9, 2022. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. If you want to see my full unedited reaction, take a yonder in the description or, join my streams. We always stream the Directs, E3, all that stuff. And then usually afterwards, if I have any thoughts, I take my notes here, of course, I write it down, and then I edit it into this little video here. Oh my, I don't have any cash, but like, Nintendo, you make it very hard not to want to buy all of these new games. I just hope they run well, right? I hope you enjoy all of my reviews and animated stories and all the videos I come up with over here. Feel free to support me on Patreon and all the other stuff. They would mean a lot to me. I could use the help. Please. And I'll see you all next time. Toodaloo!